Oh wait, I'm on Fox 5. Oh, that's different actually. Hold up. I will watch that. It's my favorite news program on Fox News. Never mind. That's actually pretty tight. I didn't understand when you said Fox 5. I thought you meant like a local Fox affiliate or something.
Wow. Progressive Democrat, Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed inviting Hasan Piker to a rally yesterday, refusing to condemn any of Piker's pathetic beliefs.
Are there any views that Hasan holds that you disavow?
I'm not here to disavow people's views. This whole gotcha game, platform policing, cancel culture, I thought we were over it.
So, Dana, I think what gets my goat, since we're talking about Hasan Piker,
Wait,
here's
what?
the party
What does that
that
mean?
decries toxic masculinity.
Is he trying to say I'm a like goat because my name is
denies
Hasan?
the rapes on October 7th, which is basically just a horrible thing to say. Anybody who knows about October 7th knows what happened there, and he's a scumbag. How can the Democrat Party coddle that?
I think it's almost worse than that because he doesn't just deny it; he says it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. That's just the cost of war. Too bad, ladies. The things he said about women are pretty incredible. But we've gone over this before. Like we make fun of sexism because it's like a way to like deal with it. It's like it's funny. I can laugh about how women are bad drivers, haha. But like I actually am not great. And yet you have all the stories we've talked about in terms of the victims of illegal immigrant crime. 98% of them are women. You don't hear anything from anybody about that. Remember the lady who said, well, she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sorry, ladies. I mean,
I like that the game of telephone is like swapped at this point to be like Hasan participated in October 7 and committed sexual assaults. Like it's basically we're like 1 week away from them saying I did October 7.
Trying to win a primary. They think that's where they have to be. There are a lot of people that listen to those shows and they listen to shows on the far right. But remember the kind of hell that President Trump had to pay for having dinner with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
And that's caused a huge fracturing on the right. And now all of them are fighting amongst each other, and I can't even figure it out.
I don't follow the far right crazies because I am one. No, but I don't know what. But I'm pretty sure they don't say rape doesn't matter, or rapes of Jewish women on October 7th. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Right
Are they? They're
that.
saying.
How can I mean? CNN had this guy on. Crazy.
Well, yeah, it's not. You have to watch the full tape of it. He's saying what Dana was saying, which he thinks that Israel's response is not proportionate to what was done to Israelis.
He has
not
no right to say that.
Right.
Then you should just not like him. And a lot of people don't like him.
But you do?
But no, it's not really a like or don't like thing. I think
he's
that
handsome. Is that it?
he's objectively handsome. Look at the New York Times profile of him. I mean, he is.
Of course,
my queen. My queen.
I'm gonna take a hard pass on it.
No. But the reason that there's a profile of him, which includes a lot of the incendiary things that he said, is that he does have this big audience. And I think that the fight within my party about whether to go on Hasan Piker's stream or have him campaign for you is about dealing with the issues from the 2024 election. How we talk about Israel and the Democratic Party's relationship to it. How we talk about corruption and anti-establishment sentiment. How we talk about universal health care, housing, education. These are issues that he talks about a lot in these streams. And he has millions of people, a lot of young men who are voicing real concerns about how they can get ahead in society, not what they think about some woman who fled communist something.
Yeah, just something that happened to some chick in a communist country, Jesse. How is this not toxic masculinity? You know, the people that often call you a toxic masculine source are embracing this guy.
They are. Well, who cares? The thing about this is I kind of liked his answer to it. He goes, I don't think we want to get into platform policing and cancel culture. I agree with that. So if this guy wants to run and win, he thinks this guy could help him win, give it a shot. Give it a shot in Michigan. You know what? Right. I respect it. Own it.
What?
This could cost you huge, but
if
that's how you really feel, do it. I really don't care. We had Ward Churchill. Remember him? Ward Churchill. America deserved 9/11. Now, I didn't think any politician would be inviting Ward Churchill to a rally and be like, I stand with the guy. But things have changed. People say all kinds of stuff now. And
oh, my God.
We just have to say, this is some crazy guy, but I like him. He might be too crazy for you. He might be obnoxious and disgusting. But you know what? I'm going to run with this guy. And if I win, I win. If I lose, it might be a little bit his fault. And it's your fault for the bad judgment. It's all about judgment.
Spoken like.
Wait, I think Jesse literally believes that I'm a misogynist, so he's now offering
Obviously,
respect.
I'm going to go to you about 9/11 because you were there. And when you hear this, I mean, you do get a free punch out of it, don't you?
Do you think Jesse Waters is like, he's like, yeah, I like the guy because he's like, I believe he's misogynistic now.
Let's recognize the currents that are blowing through this, okay? This is where a lot of the young people are, and let's recognize what it is, okay? He is doing the stuff that we talked about in the A block. He's using blame Israel as the panacea for every ill in the world. It is Israel's fault, period, end of story. That's
horrible.
What is embedded in this.
That's a
period.
terrible way to
by the way,
respond
he's not
to
Palestinian,
this.
He's Turkish. But that becomes the be-all and end-all excuse for anything he wants to say. And so as a result of 7 October, he can say America owned 9/11, deserved it, et cetera. And all I can say is thank you, Teachers Union, because he's got millions of young men who are following this thing, who know nothing about world history, who know nothing about American history, who have no idea how lucky they are to be here. And the current blowing through this is a marriage right now of Islamism, not Islam, Islamism, and the far left. There's a term for it. It's actually called the watermelon revolution.
I think
right?
Waters
The
has the
red
real
being
take of someone who thinks you're a bad
and the
person and wants the
green being
Democrats to lose. Yeah.
Islamism. And by the way, that's the same union that gave us the mullahs in Iran. If you look into it, those two were aligned in 1979. This is not unprecedented. And the commonality is America sucks. Let's recognize that.
It's a problem on the right and the left with the Israel issue. And there's new polling out from Pew. 60% of adults have an unfavorable view. You're ignoring what is going on in the fracturing of our relationship with Israel in general.
That's true.
You are.
No, hold on, but I didn't say anything about the right. And I don't like what's in Fuentes either. You know what I mean? But this idea that it all comes back to, you know what? I got to be elected wherever I run, and 9/11 was deserved because I don't like the Israelis.
All right, we got to go.
Wait, what? That has nothing to do with the Israelis. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Oh, great. They moved on to more important stuff. That's okay. I don't know what he is. I don't know what the fuck he was on, but it's very funny. It's very funny that these guys over and over again keep unironically boosting my profile, calling me hot in the process. And some of them are tactically retreating. Like Jesse Waters, I think, is probably saying this because like it's good to associate campaigns with a dangerous guy like this because people will be repulsed by his worldview. But the irony, of course, is that when he says when the main takeaway and the main response is like, oh, this guy actually channels a lot of the voices of young people, it ends up failing, right? There's not really an argument they can make in this circumstance because they're Republicans. Like, Republicans can't make that argument at all, right? Stop simping for terrorists. No one cares about the opinions of third worlders. Got it, man. Thank you. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. If you're Fox News and you say my worldview is repulsive and Democrats should shy away from it, right? You look like a hypocrite because you're trying to engage in petty cancel culture. And a lot of people that deploy it, right? A lot of people that deploy that kind of cancel culture against their ideological enemies, ironically enough, create this environment where like the normies in the middle, they get annoyed by it. They don't want to hear it, especially not right now, right? If you're a normie and you're tuning into Fox News, if you're like an independent and you're tuning into Fox News, don't know what you're doing, but and you're trying to figure out like what the Republican agenda is in this moment where, you know, Donald Trump is like engaging in spectacular that are leading to your gas prices going up at the pump. And you hear people constantly harping on like, oh, this guy who's like anti-Israel is an anti-Semite. And you've heard it before for the past 2.5 years, right? Your takeaway from that is not going to be, wow, this guy is really bad and Democrats should really stay away from him. Your takeaway is going to be, why the f am I listening to this again? Like, who cares? Who cares who the f this guy is? Why are you whining? Like, you're Republicans. We know where your allegiances are. We know what values you represent. It just doesn't make any sense. What's frustrating about this is you're just a lol cow, dude. Yeah, I know. Totally. That's what's going on here, chatter. I like that the only way that you can frame whatever is happening in the universe is through like internet terminology such as lol cowing. It's a demonstration of your lack of intelligence. It makes no sense, but if you had any friends in the real world, you probably understand that that's an idiotic thing to say out loud. Anyway, you're a lol cow, dude. Now you've been on Fox News, so even my parents know you're a POS. That's what he said. People who say lol cow are lol cows. Yeah, I know. Fox News has done, I think, 10 hits on me in the past 48 hours, if not more. They obviously, I think, overestimate my motion. I don't think I have this level of motion. CNN has also done this as well. They think that I have make it or break it status for campaigns. It's very clear that a lot of powerful interests in the country that have some control over both parties, that want to reinforce their level of influence over both parties, are looking at someone like myself and giving me unnecessary flattery. I am not a kingmaker. Okay? I'm not a kingmaker at all. What I am doing, however, is representing the resentment and the anger of the masses. The anger that you all feel that business as usual politics has not worked for you. That politicians do not represent your interests, but instead, politicians and the media class, for the most part, represent the interests of corporations. Everybody understands that. This is a bipartisan issue, okay? You have Republicans and Democrats and independents alike that look at mainstream media as oppositional to their needs. You have a lot of people in this country that look to politicians and say, these guys suck. They don't represent me at all. And when those unpopular figures are launching haymaker after haymaker, especially on an issue that is 90-10 in the Democratic Party's base, it's clear that these guys are willing to throw it all out there to the best of their ability to try to forcibly separate myself, my community, from campaigns by creating this panic, by basically creating this manufactured outrage. Okay? It's not going to work because at the end of the day, the frustrations are not going to go away, right? The frustrations are not going to go away. People are done. People are sick and tired of it. They want a Trump-style figure to also emerge from the Democratic Party, okay? And by that, I mean someone who can be a voice for the people. And Trump certainly was a voice for their resentment and manipulated a bunch of people and took their resentment, recognized it, said, you're right to be angry, and then redirected that anger to vulnerable populations, to marginalized groups, to undocumented immigrants, right? And if there was actually a force on the opposition party side that took the anger and the frustration that people feel and then redirected it to actual vectors of power towards people and corporations that control the levers of power in this country, the forces of capital, they would be unbelievably successful. Okay? I'm just one person. I'm one person that happens to be very popular only because I share that same exact resentment. I share that same exact anger. And my goal is to channel that frustration back to the real people that are responsible for why you have a hard time paying rent, for why your price at the pump is going up, for why no one is seemingly dealing with the inflation crisis, for why you can't actually own a home. You can't get a good job that's reliable with decent benefits, and why you can't do that in the wealthiest nation on earth. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. with or without me, if candidates also channeled that frustration, they would win. These people in media that are beholden to the same corporate interests that politicians are beholden to are trying to sever that tie because they see me as a singular force that is changing people's minds. To a certain degree, I'm capable of doing that. That much is clear. But I'm one person. I don't have that much of a profound reach, and I have no capabilities of hypnotizing people. People have come to their own conclusions on Israel from all of the violence that they've seen, from all the arrogance demonstrated by envoys of Israel, the demands to silence people who are opposing Israel in the United States of America. People have said, why should we be beholden to the interests of a foreign country that is only able to behave in this belligerent manner because of our tax dollars going to them? Okay? That's it. People have arrived at these conclusions on their own. Cat's out of the bag. Toothpaste is out of the tube. You cannot put it back in. So all of these attacks, they amount to nothing. People who hate me will feel emboldened in their hatred. They will use this as an opportunity to say, see, even Fox News hates them. See, look at these moderate Democrats that have spoken out against them. And people who like me are going to feel emboldened because now we're under attack. Okay? There's some people in the middle who will maybe slot themselves into, well, this guy's a bad guy. I believe the things that I'm seeing about him, and I hate him without actually looking for the necessary context or thinking critically about it. And a lot more people, I think, will come here, as they have done so, and search for their own answers. However, make no mistake, and I will keep reiterating this is not an attack against me. Okay, this is an attack against all of you. They cannot yell at every single person. They can't say, everyone shut the f up about Israel right now. But what they can do is take advantage of the existing treasure trove of clips out of context and bias framings that already exist out there in the ether to undermine, malign, and smear someone who is representative of your interests. Because they can't, if they were to come out and basically say, like, everyone that feels this way about Israel is an anti-Semite that needs to be denaturalized and deported, well, that's a whole lot of Americans, right? So all they can do is just like figure out what kind of like effective targets, cut the head of the snake, if you will. Because at the end of the day, they can't attack the message. So they try to undermine the messenger. That's it. That's it. That's all this is. And I'm glad that there are smart enough politicians out there who actually are not playing ball with this, who unironically are showing this, showing their stances by saying, look, we're not playing these games any longer. Okay? We're not playing these games. It's ridiculous. I'm glad. I'm glad that at least I can bring some attention to certain candidates, right? And not only that, but also on top of that, I'm glad that they can use this as an opportunity to say they're bold, okay? To say, no, we're not compromising. It's totally ridiculous. Because after all, no matter how vulgar I might be, no matter how vulgar and angry I could be presented, after all, I talk professionally for a living. There's, thousands, tens of thousands of hours of material that they can work with. No matter how vulgar I might seem, the issues that I'm raising and the values that I represent are actually the righteous values. They are actually on the right side of morality. They might be civil. My opposition, your opposition, might be civil in their language. They might be civil in their optics. But the things that they advance, the values that they ride for, the countries that they want to defend, they're doing a whole deal of monstrous, immoral. Okay? That's why I don't care when Cory Booker says, oh, I don't know Hasan. Don't want to go on his stream. Don't really know about him, but I got a boss call from a donor and had to speak out. Okay. But you have no issue hanging out with Yoav Gallant, taking photos with a war criminal, Yoav Gallant, taking photos with the other war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu. So I welcome your anger because it seems to me like you're not on the side of humanity anyway. You've already decided that you're in line with Israel. So thank you for making that distinction for us. Thank you for drawing a line of demarcation. Thank you for being united alongside the reactionary forces in this country in your opposition against someone like myself. That's it. They are united in their hatred of us, and we must welcome their hatred. Here's Fox News interviewing some people at the line from Michigan State University.
Lined up and packed into these rallies, and they ate up the anti-war, anti-capitalist, and anti-establishment messages from both Piker and El Sayed. Here's a bit of what some of those students told us.
I don't think it's too far left. I think the Democratic Party has gone so far right.
Democratic Party was also against Zoran campaigning with Hasan, and we see how that went.
I think that they're really just trying to shut down Abdul's race early because I don't think they want another Zoran, and I think that they see Hasan as a way to do that because of his, statements that are framed as controversial.
Boom. Hasan Abihids, you made me proud. You made me proud. Those are great quotes. Those are bars, baby. Let's go. I'm surprised the Fox banner didn't just say Dr. Jihad speaks on the destruction of the West. I think we have to be a little bit more bold, right? We have to be a little bit more bold. We have to demand that our politicians are more bold as well. They need to demonstrate conviction. They need to demonstrate courage. They need to demonstrate their morality, their moral compass. For far too long, politicians, especially on the Democratic Party side, have been so scared of doing so. And that, unfortunately for them, translates to inconsistent messaging. That, for them, translates to exactly what people feel about politicians in general, right? People have this idea that politicians are cowards. They're constantly telling people what they want to hear, what they perceive is what people want to hear. Everything is focus tested. Every message is perfectly framed to maximize output, to maximize the number of people that are not offended by it, right? And yet when you look at the politicians that are some of the most successful, some of the most popular politicians, you see that moral conviction. You see that stubbornness. You see someone being uncompromising in their values, right? Bernie Sanders, even Zoran Mamdani to a certain degree, right? And they are rewarded with love. They're showered with praise, okay? These are some of the more resilient forces in American politics. And it might take a while for people to start recognizing that these politicians were right, like Bernie was right. It might take a while for people who have voted against Bernie Sanders, who thought Bernie Sanders was a malignant force in Democratic Party politics because they ruined the chances of their favorite candidates, the establishment liberals, the centrists, the center-right figures. But eventually, defeat after defeat causes them to really reconsider, and that's what we're seeing in the base of the party right now, and that's precisely why people are attacking me. Because in their minds, they think I'm a singular force. I'm not. Okay? I'm not. I'm not alone. I can stand on my values. I can stand on my convictions and continue doing what I'm doing because I'm not alone. That's it. Yeah. They might look like they're attacking me, but they're actually trying to attack you. I'm just in the way. Anyway, there's more to it. We'll look at some of the other ridiculous smears now. Here, we'll get into it. Let's take a look at some of the Fox News coverage. This is just from this morning.
Progressive Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed appearing with controversial streamer Hasan Piker at a Michigan State rally where he refused to reject his past comments.
Abdul, are there any views that Hasan holds that you disavow while you're with him?
I'm not here to disavow people's views. I'm here to have a conversation about how to get money out of politics, put money back in pockets, and pass Medicare for all. That's the conversation that folks are here to listen to. This whole gotcha game, platform policing, cancel culture, I thought we were over it.
Let's bring in New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Okay, so he said that afternoon. But earlier, that same day, yesterday, this is what he said when I pushed him on it. Watch.
Of course, I oppose rape. Of course, I don't think 9/11 was justified. But because you appear with somebody doesn't mean you agree with them on everything. My question to you is, when did we start bending to cancel culture? When did we?
Wait, that's consistent. Like, okay, so he repeated the exact same things that he said later in the day that he said to you as well. Do words matter? This is very strange. He's saying the same things to you in that moment. It's exactly the same, as a matter of fact. I fear that the dumber we get, the more reliable this kind of smear campaigns happen to be. Because we see this on Twitter, right? In so many circumstances where someone will just be like, Hasan hates Vietnamese people or whatever. And then you look at the video and it's like me criticizing a MAGA right-winger who's utilizing their position, who's using their background, identity politics as a shield to demonstrate fascist politics, to demand violent policies that I oppose, right? And people don't even watch the clip. They just literally read the description if they're fortunate enough to be literate, and they just go along with it. Like, no one actually looks at the context that's in the smear any longer.
Start saying that cancel culture was okay, because clearly on your show you have a number of people who you don't agree with, including me, and I think it's important for all of us who want to win votes, who want to build America, to go and talk to anyone anywhere.
So he didn't have any problem saying earlier in the day that he didn't agree with the comments, but when he's face to face with the man, he didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it really is hilarious.
That is the New York Post columnist writing hit jobs on you. She's writing one story per day on you, and now they are interviewing her. They assigned her to cover you and everything you do. They assigned another reporter to cover you. You're anti-Asian now. That is crazy. Aren't Turkish people considered Asian? That was such a big stretch. Yeah, none of that stuff matters.
And I think that El Sayed is just an opportunistic politician. He knows that Democrats have a big problem attracting the sort of Gen Z and particularly male vote. And that's Hasan Piker's apparent audience. He spews his bile every day to an audience on this gaming platform. A whole bunch of young boys, I guess, in their parents' basement, you know, playing games and listening to his expletives and abuse. It's really cartoonish abuse. He breaks every taboo. You know, he says America deserved.
Yeah, the problem is you like that. You like that when it's your guy doing it, right? That's the issue. I mean, we know that to be the case. They love Trump. This is Fox News. That's exactly what Trump does. But when they see a Trumpian style figure demonstrating left populism, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not appropriate, mate. How dare you? How dare you violate the norms and social taboos?
9/11, he condones the October 7 attacks on Israel.
And then they just make up a whole bunch of shit. But it's like, it's impossible to deal with the faucet, the barrage of misinfo.
You know, you pointed all of that out very well. But it's not just El Sayed. It's also Rashida Tlaib. It's also Ro Khanna. Some pretty mainstream Democrats are quite happy to stand alongside him and sort of launder his rank abuse as being normal commentary. And
yeah, I mean, look, fair is fair. Okay, I'm a bully to bullies. Okay, I've never shied away from that. If your worldview is toxic, if you have repulsive ideals that you are committed to advancing, if you're a reactionary, if you're a neo-Nazi, if you want to develop a white nativist anti-immigrant agenda and push for it, I'm going to shit on you. I'm not going to be nice. It doesn't matter what your background is. What matters is what your values are. Okay? And I'm pretty open about that, but it's really funny that they try to unironically flip the script and try to do this woke shit. Okay? Because that's what this is, right? This is what they have complained about with respect to the Democrats, with respect to the liberals, over and over and over again. It's so funny. And while they're doing it, they're also leaning into the Islamophobia too. While they're doing it, they're like, well, he's doing it Muslim style. Have you guys noticed that he's doing it Muslim style? These are dangerous Islamic forces at play. You're being a snowflake.
By doing that, they just lower the tone for everybody. And, you know, Amazon's obviously quite happy to have him on their platform. Twitch is an Amazon subsidiary. So no one's wanting to cancel him, but it just...
Why did you bring the platform that I'm on then? Why did you bring up the platform that I'm on then if you're not trying to cancel him? Now he's trying to cancel him. Oh, no. We're just using choice quotes that are clipped out of context to make him seem like a bad guy who doesn't deserve a platform at all. He's calling it Piker Broadcasting Service, PBS, right? Or no? He's collecting dollar it is. He's collecting them in the form of subscriptions like Twitch Primes that are free or for $6 dues. It is funny that they're just like, they complain about all this shit and it's just like, it doesn't, you know.
It calls into question
it's irrelevant.
What kind of people these Democrats are, these progressives are. But it worked for Mamdani. Bernie Sanders and AOC like appearing with Hasan Piker. But, you know, I think they ought to really look at his followers because on X recently, it's been exposed that he might have, you know, 1 million plus followers, but a huge percentage of them are unverified. I think only 1.5% are actually verified followers. And that's the pattern you see when there are bots.
That's exactly the opposite, by the way. No, it's not bots that are unverified followers, but I like that that's what they think. No. Have you seen the state of blue checkmark replies? No one in my community is ever going to pay, or most people in my community are not going to be caught dead paying for Elon Musk's Nazi-ass platform. I tried to explain this to people. I was like, you know, I'm like on auto block lists, right? I've been blocked automatically by so many people because I have a blue check mark because I got grandfathered into it because I'm a power user. I'm a power user of Twitter.
Come in, they're paid, they boost someone's figures, and therefore their algorithm, which doesn't discern, rewards them. And so he is a fully, you know, constructed, imaginary person, sort of.
So why are you spending every waking moment covering me then? It's like, that also doesn't make sense. I agree. I'm some irrelevant person. You should leave me alone. You should stop talking about me. I agree with that entirely. So why the are you on your 11th article on me? Why are you on Fox News talking about me, right?
Avatar of whoever it is that wants to, whether it's himself or anybody who wants to disrupt and sow chaos and discord in America would elevate this man and his rancid, toxic views to mainstream.
Yeah, and it just makes you wonder the people within the community that are also elevating this as well. I think there's this growing.
All right, one more.
Welcome back. Some Democrats are pumping up on a controversial live streamer, Hasan Piker's channel. If you don't know him, that's okay. Here's a little taste of who he is.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
It doesn't even matter. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live free lives, free from this occupation. Respect the Fox News. Respect the Fox News for showing the full context. Once again, makes it a lot more difficult for them to argue against, right? Because, you know, all of a sudden, not a bad take, but a good take. It doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
America deserved 9/11. You know, with statements like that on the record, you think Democrats might want to keep their distance. But no, they don't. Instead, many are cozying up to Hasan Piker, treating him and going on his platform like a campaign stop.
I'm 33 years old. Yeah, we're the same age, which is crazy because I'm a loser and you're running for mayor of New York. That's wild.
I went to Japan recently, and I got both of you guys gifts. This one's for you. This is a Palestinian movement in Japan.
This is your third time on the stream.
But the first time in your studio.
Yeah, the first time
ever.
ever.
All in like Christmas holiday spirit. I didn't know that. I didn't know you had the Christmas spirit.
So AOC, Bernie Sanders, Mom Donnie, and then at the end there you saw Ro Khanna, congressman, who today, after you heard, was on that stream for 3 different occasions, was asked about his association with Piker.
Why would you not dissociate yourself from Hasan Piker? Why?
Well, first of all, I have gone on every media podcast. I go on Theo Von. I've gone on Sean Ryan.
You're going to go on Alex Jones?
I would not go on Alex Jones, but Hasan
He's just
Piker.
as bad.
No, but Hasan Piker, I have criticized some of his statements. I have said that, of course, America didn't deserve 9/11 and that we were justified in attacking Al-Qaeda.
Like this is the other side of it though. Like they have to. This is why I say like you just be honest, man. Be honest. Like I'm not just as bad as Alex Jones. That's the whole point, right? Like that's because. That's the other side of it where you come across like you're being a little shifty with it. And you look unprincipled because it's like, it's ridiculous. This comparison is ridiculous. Like there is a reason why people who wouldn't go on Alex Jones don't have an issue with going on my stream. And that's because I do the exact opposite of what Alex Jones does. You got to admit some of the things you said are pretty controversial. Okay. Let's take one of the quotes that they're using, right? Sexual assault happening or not happening doesn't change the justification for the genocide that Israel is conducting, right? Do you think that's a controversial statement? No, it's not a controversial statement at all. But you can present it as a controversial statement if you rob it of its context. Even with America deserved 9/11. If we're talking about blowback, I'm fairly certain that the overwhelming majority of Americans can comprehend the logic behind that, right? The point is, I'm talking for 10 hours a day. You can get me to appear as though I'm subscribing to some of the most dangerous ideas that I oppose on a daily basis, right? And they do that. They are doing that, right? Over and over and over again. Don't know about majority. I think most people understand that on its face, the reason why 9/11 happened, obviously it's unjustifiable. You know, civilians were slaughtered. I'm not in favor of that. Most people would not be in favor of that unless it's, you know, civilians overseas and brown people that are being slaughtered. But most people understand 9/11 happened because we around all over the region. We set up these guys. We armed them. We trained them. It's true. We did it. I mean, it's part of the political game. Smear campaigns by politicians live their whole life trying to cover their past. Okay, but notice how you actually backtracked and then compared me to a politician. I'm not a politician. And I don't even think politicians have to do that any longer. We're living in a post-Trump universe. Okay? As long as you have your values, as long as you have your convictions, a lot of this stuff is just noise. We give it power. We give it power by paying attention to it, and we give it power by responding to it with fear. Right? That's it. You're still in politics game, though. They're going to throw this in your face your entire life. Yeah, I know. I don't care. Do you think you can tell reliably what a person represents or who a person is by those who choose to actively smear them, their ideological opponents who are very clearly trying to manufacture outrage? Or do you have the capacity to think critically and make up your own mind? Because we all know the real reason why you thought right. We all know the real reason. Oh, he's Asmongold chatter. We all know the real reason why people are doing this, because they oppose not just my worldview, but they also oppose your worldview too. Like they are fearful that there is a big movement of people who oppose Israel's influence on American politics, for example.
That we can have nice things, but we can't do it alone. But the only way to do it is to do it together.
It is my great honor to be standing alongside incredible candidates and incredible politicians like Abdul El-Sayed.
We
we've got an opportunity to change the face of American politics, and we will not back down.
Dude, I saw a guy who doesn't like you, calls you a dog shark, defending you from CNN and mainstream media only help you, especially when it comes from both sides. Yeah. The other thing I was gonna say, someone said, well, now that you're eating all the downsides, why don't you run for office? I mean, you got a little taste of one day of campaigning and what that looks like. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. I'm much more effective at like leaning into candidates that have the time and have the money and have the background to be able to engage in this. My impact would be limited to one singular race as opposed to 10 races, 20 races, maybe 100 races. You understand? That's what it is. It's virtually impossible for me to do 8 to 10 hours of news coverage on a daily basis, develop a community of like-minded individuals from all around the country, and then use that as a force to be reckoned with to prop up candidates that demonstrate our values, that are more responsive to our needs, than to hyper-focus on one race and maybe even lose at the end of that, right? A totally different set of skills there.
In the wealthiest nation on earth, or whether you are in Detroit or Lansing or Ann Arbor or Pittsburgh or Philly, that we deserve clean air and clean water. Every single person here should be able to go to a doctor. We deserve to live in a country that says that we should have a home.
Dr. Abdul El-Sayed not only understands we have a right to breathe clean air, he is going to move with the urgency that is needed.
We are strong when we are united.
When they tell us that we cannot stand up and abolish ICE, we don't back down. When they tell us that we cannot believe in a future that is bigger than the present we have, we don't back down.
Hell yeah. Am I propagandized? No. It's 1,000 Michiganders that came out to see Summerlee and Abdul with Hasan Piker that are wrong. Yeah, exactly. The thing that I've also learned though, in you know all the years of withstanding these smears that just like they keep unearthing over and over again and like trying to create panic around as though it's new, like they're reheating the same old dusty nachos at this point, is there are always going to be people that lean into it. There are always going to be people that are invested in being duped, right? It's that simple. But what matters most is who you are, what you believe in, what you want to advance in this country. That's all it is at the end of the day. And then the rest is hoping that people have that capacity to be charitable, hoping that people have that capacity to think critically and dive deeper and try to understand like why people are attacking me, for example.